आवाज ठीक आ रही है? आवाज चेक कर रहा हूँ मैं। आवाज ठीक आ रही है? आवाज चेक कर रहा हूँ। It does. तो नमस्ते गाइस, वेलकम टू द न्यू एपिसोड। ये मैं रंबल से कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि द रीजन बीइंग यूट्यूब पे कल हुआ क्या, आई डिड 2 वीडियोस। मैंने टोटल 4 श्लोक कल खत्म कर दिए थे एंड वी आर टू स्टार्ट विद द 7th श्लोक ऑफ 9th चैप्टर। लेकिन हुआ क्या, एक श्लोक की जो वीडियो है वो आई नहीं यूट्यूब पे। तो आई थॉट आई शुड ट्राई अ डिफरेंट प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि ऐसे तो फिर क्योंकि देयर इज नो कोई से ही नहीं है इनका। तो आई एम अवेलेबल विद द सेम हैंडल ऑन रंबल। तो अगर आप ये यूट्यूब पे देख रहे हैं तो नाउ ऑन आई विल आल्सो बी एडिंग रंबल एंड रंबल में कुछ और चेंजेस कर तो सकता हूँ मैं। एक मिनट और देख लेते हैं। ओके, स्ट्रीम सेटिंग्स में बैकग्राउंड सेट करने का ये ऑप्शन नहीं दे रहा है। कैमरा सेटिंग्स में नहीं। कैमरा सेटिंग्स में भी इसके ऑप्शंस तो नहीं है। ओके, नहीं है तो हमें ये इसी बैकग्राउंड से चलाना पड़ेगा। आईएलसी के ये ऑडियो वीडियो बाद में प्रोसेस होने के बाद कैसा लगता है। आई एम जस्ट सीइंग इट एट द साइड ऑफ माइन कि हाउ दिस एक्चुअली इज परफॉर्मिंग। क्योंकि मेरी तरफ से वीडियो तो बिल्कुल सही है, जो मैं देख पा रहा हूँ। दैट वीडियो इज परफेक्ट। बट आई थिंक ये इसका या तो नेटवर्क इशू लग रहा है। आई थिंक वीडियो पीछे वाली जो है इम्प्रूव तो हो रही है, बट आई थिंक क्वालिटी 720p पे रखा। ठीक है, विल कंटिन्यू। आज के लिए ऐसे ही कंटिन्यू करके एक बार देखते हैं एक क्लास। आई थिंक ऑडिबल होगी आपको मेरी वॉइस, लेकिन यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्लियरली सी द वीडियो पार्ट। दैट इज व्हाट आई एम थिंकिंग। तो विल स्टार्ट लाइक दिस ओनली। Link. In the previous verse, Lord Krishna explained that all beings dwell in him, but he did not explain their new creation and final dissolution, which are going to be explained in the next 2 verses. Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya Prakriti Yanti Mamikam Kalpakshe Punastani Kalpado Visrijamyaham सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतं यन्ति मामिकं कल्पक्षे पुनस्तानि कल्पदो विसृजम्यहम्. All beings, O Kaunteya, merge into my Prakriti, the prime cause, at the end of a kalpa, and I myself create them again at the beginning of the next kalpa. Kalp means it is a time duration which is being said in this case. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिम यन्ति मामिकं कल्पक्षये. All beings are God's fragments. जो हमने पिछले लेक्चर्स में पढ़ा था, एक लेक्चर जो गायब हो गया, जो इन्होंने यूट्यूब ने काट दिया, उसकी ऑडियो वीडियो भी अजीबो-गरीब है, बट इट्स ओके. वो श्लोक अगर हट भी जाए, then also you will be able to understand the basics of philosophy, and I think it will be legible to you, right? But they identify themselves with nature and its evolutes, body, etc., by having an affinity of I-ness and mindness. So these are born and die again and again. At the time of final dissolution, when Brahma, the creator's life period of 100 years, is over, the entire creation goes into an unmanifest state with their actions. यानी कि हमारे क्रिएटर भी वही है, रचयिता भी वही है, और जो वहां पे जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं वो भी वही है. सिर्फ बात यह है कि जब हम धरती पे आते हैं तो मोह माया के जंजाल में all the things that we see all around as a प्रकृति, हम उसमें अटक जाते हैं. That is the basic thing that we have to understand. हम जब भी इस संसार में आते हैं, हमें ये जो संसार है ये बिल्कुल ही ट्रू लगने लग जाता है. दैट इज द परफेक्ट एंड द ट्रू मैनिफेस्टेशन. बट ऐसा नहीं है. मेनी अ टाइम्स आप जब भी देखेंगे अपने बॉडी की बनावट को, या फिर क्या चीज परमानेंट है क्या चीज नहीं है, उस केस में जब आप देखें तब आपको पता लगेगा कि ब्रह्म और ब्राह्मण आर डिफरेंट, एंड जो आपका जो आत्मन है दैट इज द पार्ट ऑफ गॉड. पुनस्तानि kalpado visrajamyam. When actions of those beings become mature to bear fruit, the Lord has this pursuit of mind to become manifold from one. This is the beginning of a new creation. It has been mentioned in the third verse of the 8th chapter as follows. This resolve which brings forth the existence of beings is called Adi Karma. This resolve which brings forth the existence of beings is called Adi Karma. Action. In the fourth chapter, it is mentioned, I place the seed. 14th chapter, third verse. And I am the seed giving Father. 14th chapter, fourth verse. It means that at the beginning of a new creation, when Brahma emanates from the Lord, according to the actions of the being, brings them forth again. The Lord declares it in the 13th verse of the fourth chapter. The fourfold caste was created by me, according to their qualities, actions. Brahma's day is called a Kalp, which extends for 1,000 fourfold yugas, ages. His night is also the same duration. Brahma lives for 100 years. When Brahma's life period is over, he merges into the Lord, and which is called the end of the Kalpa. And when he emanates from the Lord, that is the beginning of the new Kalpa. यानी कि काफी लोग जानते होंगे कि जो ब्रह्मा जी है, कहा जाता है ही केम आउट फ्रॉम द नाभि ऑफ लॉर्ड विष्णु. ये साइकिल उसी साइकिल के बारे में बात करती है कि जब टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द कल्पा ही डिसॉल्व्स इनटू लॉर्ड विष्णु, then again when he appears again from the lord Vishnu, that is called starting of the kalpa. His night is also of the same duration. Brahma lives for 100 years. When Brahma's life period is over, he merges into the Lord. तो जितने भी एनर्जीज हैं, ये हम जो डेथ बोलते हैं, दैट वी आर सीइंग एज डेथ, क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि नाउ इट्स ऑल फिनिश्ड व्हाटएवर। बट जब हम एक्चुअल में बात करते हैं, हम डिसॉल्व होते हैं। आत्मन जो है दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ गॉड। हमारा जो शरीर था पहले जिन धातुओं से बना था, उन्हीं धातु में जाके विलीन हो जाता है, एंड उसके बाद वी गेट अ ट्रू सेल्फ। हम फिर ट्रू सेल्फ को देखने लगते हैं, राइट। Here it is mentioned that all beings go into his prakriti at the end of a kalpa, but he generates them again at the beginning of the next kalpa. It means that prakriti being active when it gets tired merges into God itself, and beings having affinity with prakriti also merge in it at the time of final dissolution. But at the time of a new creation, the Lord brings forth those beings who had affinity with Prakriti again by giving them the fruit of their mature actions in order to purify them. As a person builds a house, but it slowly gets destroyed by its whole, the Lord brings forth beings, but they die themselves. In the same way, a man, soul, man को soul बोला गया, so no need to fight on man or woman, it's a soul. Being a portion of a Lord has a natural inclination for the Lord, but he has a fall himself by having desires and attachments for the perishable body and world. So a striver, by attaching importance to discrimination, by renouncing desires and attachments, should be inclined towards the Lord. Right. Appendix. In the entire universe, there are three important factors: origin, state of existence, and dissolution. A striver has an eye only on the state of existence of the world. So the Lord in the preceding verse, having described the existence, now in this verse mentions the origin and dissolution. It means that the origin, existence, and dissolution, all the three spring from entire form of God. In fact, there is no state of existence of the world, but the flow of its origin and dissolution is said to be the state of existence. If we perceive from the real point of view, we find that there is not even the origin of the universe, but there is only dissolution. It has no existence. Therefore, in the world, dissolution, non existence, or disunion is only predominant. नाशतो विद्यते भवा, यानी कि दोनों क्रिएशन और डिसोल्यूशन दोनों है, बट प्रेवलेंट जो जिसको ज्यादा लोग देखते हैं वो डिसयूनियन या फिर डिस्ट्रक्शन। जैसे many a times if any of a friend asks for help, तो आप तब तक हेल्प कई बार नहीं करते हो जब तक आपको पक्का प्योर पता ना हो जाए कि भैया ही रियली नीड्स हेल्प और नॉट। वैसे ही जस्ट एक इसको एग्जैजरेट करके एक एग्जांपल बताता हूँ। तो एक इंसान कभी भी एक चीज को तब देख पाता है जब उसे लगता है कि सब खत्म हो गया। तब उस चीज को एक्चुअली वो एनालाइज कर पाएगा, बता पाएगा कि हाँ सब खत्म हो गया एंड एवरीथिंग इज फिनिश्ड, यू will have to try again. In that sense, they are trying to tell. प्रकृतिम स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रामीम मीमं कृतसन्नमवशम् प्रकृते वर्षात् प्रकृतिं स्वामवस्थाभ्य विसर्जमि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रममीमां कृत्स्नामवासं प्रकृतितर्वासत्. By using of my nature, Prakriti, I bring forth again and ever again the whole multitude of creations, subject however to the influence of their own nature. Bhuta gramamimam kritshama vasam prakritervasat. Here, the term Prakriti stands for the individual Prakriti. At a final dissolution, all beings merge in individual nature, causal bodies, and individual nature merges into cosmic nature, and cosmic nature merges into the Lord. But all the beings of the creations, when actions of those bring beings become mature to bear fruits, the Lord thinks to become manifold from one. So there is commotion in nature. When curd is churned, butter and buttermilk become separate. Out of this, butter flows over buttermilk. Here, butter is sattvic, buttermilk is tamas, and the action of churning is rajas. Similarly, from the commotion of Prakriti, nature, also the three attributes, qualities, goodness, activities, passion, and inertia, ignorance, are born. Out of the three modes, the heaven, this immortal world, and the underworld are born. In these three worlds, beings are born according to their actions and nature. This description is also given in the third, fourth verses of the 14th chapter, where Prakriti has been called Mahat Brahma, and the Lord's pursuit of mind to become manifold has been declared as placing the seed of all life. A dissolution, the soul submerges into God, but it does not attain emancipation. Emancipation means what do you call as mukti. या फिर in both the dharma it is being called as realization, self realization. एक minute. Because it submerges being associated with modes of nature. जब भी हम अपने आप को बाहर की किसी वस्तु से एसोसिएट करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे, तब it would become very difficult for you to get emancipated, यानी कि for you to get mukti. Had it renounced its association with mods, it might have emancipated forever and would not have undergone the wheel of birth and death. Attachment of to these bodies is the cause of being's birth in good and evil bodies. So a being remains under its control. In the 19th verse of the 8th chapter, there is a description of a being who remains under the control of his own individual nature. In the 5th verse of the 3rd chapter, there is description of happiness under one's nature after birth. A being is tied to these nature-born modes in all the three worlds, as is also described in the 5th verse of the 14th chapter. तो ये जो थ्री वर्ल्ड्स हैं ये यही हैं. आपने देखा होगा कि even on a very good day few people are troubled. Few people are saying कि क्यों हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, what are the problems. The thing is, it is not their fault actually, to be very frank. They are seeing the same world as Narak. We might see the same world as Swarg. And we can see the same world as Bhulok. इन ये वर्ड, ये अगर आप पढ़ेंगे, ये आई गेट आई यू विल गेट टू नो हाउ दिस इज देयर. So being remains under its control. In the 19th verse of the 88th chapter, there is a description of a being who remains under the control of his own individual nature. In the 5th verse of the 3rd chapter, there is a description of helplessness under one's nature after birth. A being is tied by these nature born modes in all the three worlds. हम जो अभी कर्म कर रहे हैं, उसके बेसिस पे हमारा अगले का कर्म डिसाइड होगा, अगले जन्म का. और ये जो जन्म हमें मिला है अभी, इसका कर्मफल पिछले जन्म के कार्य कलापों से डिसाइड हो चुका है. उसका आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. राइट? वैसे ही अगर आप इसी सिचुएशन को देखें कि हम जो समझते हैं कि हम स्वर्ग मिलेगा, ये स्वर्ग हमारे मन के अंदर होता है. आप अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो आपको वही वही समाज, वही एनवायरनमेंट आपको बहुत सही लगने लगेगा. लेकिन अगर आप कर्म फल बुरे होंगे आपके, तो आपको वही समाज और वही एनवायरनमेंट बहुत ही क्रूर और बुरा लगने लगेगा. और अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे एंड यू आर जस्ट सीइंग दिस एज अ वर्ल्ड, ये भूलोक आपके ही है. तो व्हाट इज प्रेजेंट एट हियर, दैट इज द भूलोक. ये जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, दैट इज द भूलोक. लेकिन अगर मैं बात करता हूँ इन टर्म्स ऑफ माइंड, कि हम किस हिसाब से अपने वर्ल्ड को एनालाइज करते हैं, इन दैट केस आई एम टेलिंग यू अबाउट दैट, कि हम जैसा संसार को देखना चाहेंगे वैसा संसार हमें दिखता है. प्रकृति समवस्थ भय. प्रकृति नेचर is an uncommon power of the Lord, which can neither be called different from him nor one with him. The Lord, as its supervisor, keeping nature under control, brings forth beings at the beginning of creation. Because all changes take place in nature, not in the Lord. It does not mean that God Himself is incapable, dependent, and weak to do so. As a man performs action by controlling his mind and senses, etc., but when he comes under the sway of mind and senses, etc., he, instead of being their master, becomes a slave to them. The Lord brings forth beings by keeping nature under control without getting entangled in her. Vishrajami punah punah. The Lord brings forth His whole multitude of beings in different moving and unmoving species and different bodies. In physical bodies of some of the species, there is preponderance of the earth elements, in some of free elements, in some of the air elements. Thus, the Lord creates many forms of bodies. Here, one point needs to be understood. The Lord brings forth only those beings who have become slaves to their nature. By having the affinity of I and mine, the personal nature, that is the body, on being a slave to his personal nature, one becomes a slave to the cosmic nature. In case he is not a slave to such nature, he is not born at the cosmic dawn. In reality, Prakriti is not different from God. Therefore, God in his integral form comprises Prakriti. To regard God without Prakriti is to have uni-present view of God, and it is not possible. Avasham Prakriten Vasat. Para Prakriti, where the self is totally independent, established in the self. By being connected with the alien Apara Prakriti, the self has become independent, established in Prakriti. Otherwise, it can never be dependent. Attached to the modes of its dependence, कर्णम गुणसंगोष्य सदशदेव निजान मासु. God creates only those beings again and again who are under the sway of Prakriti, their individual nature. Those who are not under the control of Prakriti, nature, and are not created, born. Sargi pi nopajente prale na vyathanti cha. Right. Hmm. Hmm. ये छोटे छोटे हैं. चलिए आज इसे अच्छे से रैप अप करते हैं. Uh, a man is bound by actions when either he is attached to them or accept himself as the doer. But the Lord is not bound by actions. Why the clarification comes in the next verse. We'll probably start with the next verse in the next class. ये just a bit confused कि इसका output कैसे आने वाला है. Um, either I'll continue like this और I'll see if YouTube का क्या प्रॉब्लम था या फिर मैंने कोई गलती की है, ये मुझे देखना पड़ेगा. And then we'll continue in the next live, probably evening या फिर tomorrow morning, right? जय श्री राम.